every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Omotayo Alo. In our major story, President Muhammad Buhari has approved the appointment of Bacha David Lawal as Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He also named Abba Yakari as Chief of Staff to the President. Also in this program, the leader of the Bring Back Our Girls group, Obi Ezekwesili, is confident that the Buhari administration would facilitate the rescue of over 200 girls. Senate leader Ali Udume admits there were procedural errors in the investigative hearing into the petition filed against the EFCC chairman Ibrahim Lamode. And outside Nigeria, South Sudan President Salva Kiir signs a peace deal with rebels after refusing to do so at a ceremony in the capital, Juba. Now the news in full. President Muhammad Buhari has approved the appointment of Bacha David Lawal as Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He also named Abba Kari as Chief of Staff to the President. Retired Colonel Ahmed Ali is to head the Nigerian Customs Service, while Kur Abashi is Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service. Other appointments are Senator Ita Eyang as Senior Special Advisor to the President in National Assembly matters in charge of the Senate, while Sulaiman Kuu is to play a similar role in the House of Representatives. Presidential statements indicates that the new Secretary to the Government of the Federation is a member of the Nigerian Computer Society, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. It added that Abba Ikari, the new Chief of Staff to the President, holds bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Cambridge and University of Warwick in law and sociology and has extensive experience in the private sector. The new Controller General of Customs holds bachelor's and master's degree in criminology and was military administrator of Kaduna State from 1996 to 1998. The Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared 511.8 billion naira among the three tiers of government for July 2015. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Anastasia Nwakobi, announced this after the FAC meeting in Abuja. She explained that the disbursement includes the month net statutory revenue of 433.5 billion naira. The Permanent Secretary also revealed that Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation refunded 6.3 billion naira to the Federation account.
The guidelines.
The gross statutory revenue, that's the total revenue available for distribution for the month of July, is 430.446 billion. After all the deductions, we have 411.867 billion. For value-added tax, gross amount generated 74.945 billion. After the cost of deduction is 71.947 billion. The breakdown will be provided to you by the Office of the Accountant General. Under the excess crude account, we have a current balance of $2.257 billion.
President Muhammad Buhari on Thursday held a private meeting with the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. This is the first time both men would be holding private talks outside of the regular engagement between the President and the National Peace Committee. At the end of the private meeting, Bishop Kuka declined to speak with State House correspondent. He simply said he had a flight to catch while dashing out of the council chamber. The Catholic bishop had in recent times been criticized for allegedly seeking the soft landing for former President Goodluck Jonathan in the aftermath of plans to probe his administration. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress wants members of the party to always adhere with party's manifesto in the course of discharging their duties. National Chairman John Odigo gave the charge at a workshop organized for the national and state auditors of the party in Abuja. He reminded the auditors of great responsibility ahead of the party while noting that Nigerians want to see APC deliver on its change mantra. This training workshop for the party's auditors, according to APC leader, is first of its kind since it was formed.
Now that we're in government, and in line with the party manifesto and our change mantra, we have only just started a journey of probity, transparency, and sincerity of purpose. Our conduct must at all times be worthy of emulation in the way we live our personal lives, even our personal lives, and more particularly, the way we run the affairs of the party.
This is the first of its kind in Nigeria. This assures the Nigerians that APC is a different party. It's an engine of change in the system of democratic part of government. And as you can see today, the party is proving that they are very transparency, very accountability. That is why they will be able to bring all the state auditors to come to their state headquarters at Abuja, here in Abuja. They are now giving us the detail of how to manage the funds, both internally and externally.
What I'm expecting that at the end of this exercise, we'll be able to maybe strengthen our level of performances in our various states and trying to guard against irregularities as far as our finances are concerned.
Senate leader Ali Ndume has admitted that there were procedural errors in the investigative hearing into the petition filed against the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Lamade. The Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition began its investigation into the Naira alleged diversion of 1 trillion naira on Wednesday without allowing the EFCC representatives to observe the session. And speaking on the matter at a news conference in Abuja, the Senate leader conceded that there were errors in the procedure but refused to go into details.
There were actually, I think there were some procedural lapses there. But it was, I don't want to believe it's deliberate because there is no way you can cut corners or anything or use the institution like the Senate to settle personal scores. It doesn't work that way. After all, whatever decision you take, it has to be debated on the floor of the House and it has to be passed. So even if it is a committee recommendation, after the committee works, you have to present it in a plenary, and majority will have to agree with the content of the report before it becomes acceptable. As you must have observed, I'm not used to just talking anyhow on these issues. How does it become an issue? Because the end justifies the means. So if you go and make noise all over and you know that all that noise will have to be accepted by the majority of the Senate before it becomes anything. So even if the committee does the work and the Senate rejects it, that's the end of it. So why are you guys making an issue out of it?
Bring Back Our Girls campaigners on Thursday staged a protest to remind Nigerians that it is now 500 days since the Chibok girls were abducted by Boko Haram insurgents. In different voices, the activists continue to demand for the release of the girls. But this time, notable clergymen joined in the solidarity march and chanted songs demanding for more global detention. Basilo Kafo has more in this report presented from our studios.
It is another special day for these Chibok girls campaigners. They gather here at the usual venue, the Unity Fountain in Abuja, to mark 500 days of the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls. The activists accuse the Jonathan administration of not doing enough to rescue the girls.
My response is that it's a reminder to all Nigerians that we have failed some of our citizens. 219 girls are in the hands of insurgents for 500 days. It's totally unacceptable because it is the right of those girls, even though they come from homes that are less privileged, but it is their right. It is the right of their parents and it is the rights of those girls for them to be saved from the agony that they have been going through. So it is not an issue of one administration has not done it and therefore another one is riding on that, whatever, that this new administration also has the responsibility.
But for members of the protest group, this protest march is one with a difference. They have prominent Abuja clerics in their midst. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Onayekon, and the Chief Imam of the National Assembly Legislative Quarters, Nura Khalid, however, differed on the role religious leaders in the country have played in effort to free the abducted girls.
We have always expressed outrage at what has happened. It may not be much, but we have been praying. And prayer is important in this matter.
I can't say religious leaders are doing the right thing when there is not enough education or when there is no security in education system in Nigeria. So we must start the fight now.
The clergymen will march with the campaigners also join in tying red ribbons on trees in remembrance of these girls in Boko Haram captivities. One of the parents of the abducted Chibok girls, Enoch Mark, narrated his experience since his daughter was taken away from him. The girls may still be in captivity since April 2014, but the activists are still hopeful that one day the abducted girls will reunite with their family members.
It's 500 days since the Chibok girls were abducted since April 14. The government girls' secondary school in Borno State, despite effort by the government to rescue the girls from the captive of Boko Haram insurgents. In Lagos, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group held a solidarity march calling for the release. A correspondent, Emmanuel Ajayi, has details.
Out of 276 girls reportedly abducted, 57 escaped while 219 still missing, perhaps still in the Boko Haram's den. While many of their parents lost their lives in the process, no one knows what might be the current state of the girls. In a solidarity march, the governor of Lagos, Akinwumi Ambode, to mark 500 days since the girls have been missing. The Bring Back Our Girls campaign group says 500 days is a long time for the government to secure the release of the girls.
It's been 500 days today. If it were their daughters that were adopted, I know they would have done something. Parents are dying. Mothers are crying.
We're here today to remind everyone that 219 girls, they're still missing. 219 girls, we can still find them. And we feel that it is the duty of the government to protect its citizens. It is our duty to look for these girls and get them out from wherever they are. Whether they are in Sambisa, whether they are in Nigeria, whether they are anywhere around the world, they need to bring them back.
It's been over 500 days, and yet they are not here. We are begging. These girls need to be back. We are mothers, we are sisters, we are all one in this Nigeria. And we believe that President Buhari can do more than what he's doing to bring back these girls.
The federal government must understand that simply driving Boko Haram out of the places that they are occupying is not enough. They also have to have intelligence because they must know where the girls are so that whether by stealth or by force, by hook or by crook, they will go in and extract these girls and bring them back.
For his part, the chairman, Chibok Community, Moses Zakwa, is concerned about the plight of the internally displaced persons in Lagos.
Today we are here, we have over 10,000 Chibok indigents scattered across the country. Please, Mr. Governor, we are pleading with you. Help us. We know the government in power today, they are capable to rescue the Chibok girls.
Responding to them, the governor of Lagos, Akinwumi Ambode, promises to work in accord with President Muhammadu Buhari in the fight to ensure the release of the girls in due time, and also promising to ameliorate the challenges of internally displaced persons in Lagos.
We're very concerned and pained when the girls were declared missing, and we're more disturbed about the reaction of the past federal administration, which was globally condemned as inadequate. We thank God that President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed to bring our girls back. I want to say categorically that my administration fully identifies with the position expressed by President Muhammadu Buhari that the girls will be brought back alive.
It is the hope of Nigerians that the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari will be more proactive in ensuring that the girls are brought back in due time.
It is 500 days of the Chibok adoption, and the question on the lips of these Nigerians is that they want the girls brought back alive. And we're hopeful that these girls will be brought back alive. From Lagos House, Ikeja, I am Emmanuel Ajayi, reporting for CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Bring Back Our Girls group, Obi Ezekwesili, is confident that the Buhari administration would facilitate the rescue of over 200 schoolgirls abducted from Chibok, Borno State, exactly 500 days ago. She told CoreTV News that she's optimistic and that she's based on the commitment displayed by the President Muhammad Buhari, and the 3-month deadline handed to the military leadership to end the Boko Haram insurgency. The former education minister spoke on the sidelines of a fundraiser in Abuja for people displaced by insurgents in northeast Nigeria.
There is no way you can be satisfied that 500 days after these young women were abducted, that they still find themselves captives of terrorists. So as far as we're concerned, what we are looking to is this renewed effort where the government has reconstituted the security team and has given a promise that within the next 3 months, maybe 4 months, or by December, that they would decimate Boko Haram. And the president had said in his inaugural speech that we cannot say to have succeeded against Boko Haram until we have rescued our Chibok girls. Now, that is a very important statement that we're holding on very, very strong to.
We take a break now, and we'll be back with a special report as the world marks 500 days of the Chibok girls in captivity. Stay tuned.
The iPhone, oh. Yeah. Hello? Ah.
Look at this, Juliet. Juliet. Julie. Selfie.
Need to sell something fast? Download the Everything app, upload a picture, and submit. The Everything app for when it's got to go right now. Everything.com, #1 for used goods.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, CoreTV Primetime News. And here's a quick reminder of our major story. President Muhammad Buhari has approved the appointment of Babaja David Lal as Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He also named Abba Kayari as Chief of Staff to the President. Also in this program, the leader of the Bring Back Our Girls group, Obi Ezekwesili, is confident that the Buhari administration would facilitate the rescue of over 200 girls. Senate leader Ali Ndume admits there were procedural errors in the investigative hearing into the petition filed against the EFCC chairman Ibrahim Lamade. And for more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. Get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and news. Still on the Chibok girls, the call by many Nigerians on the government to secure the safe release of the abducted girls has continued to grow even after 500 days since abduction. In this special report, Adeyinka Kiremi takes a look at the continued abduction of the Chibok girls and government's effort at rescuing and reuniting them with their families. Our report.
The rising activities of the Boko Haram insurgents in parts of the country for a long time now has become a major challenge for the federal government. Suicide bombings, killings of civilians, and laying ambush for military personnel were some operational hallmark of the deadly sect. While the nation was still mourning the February 25, 2014 killings of boys at Federal Government College, Buniyadi in Yobe State, the insurgents went ahead to abduct over 200 girls from Government Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State, on April 15th last year. The global condemnation that trailed the abduction was initially downplayed by the immediate past president, Goodluck Jonathan-led administration, as people within and outside the country kept calling for immediate release of the girls. The government in power at the center kept accusing the opposition political party of being behind the kidnapping. Actions by the former president to rescue the Chibok girls were deemed belated by many.
Jay, help us, help us. There is God, there is God, 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 God. God should descend, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain.
For political watchers, the Chibok kidnap was one of several goods that cost ex-President Jonathan a re-election. On assumption of office and during his visits to the United States, President Muhammadu Buhari promised to rescue the girls alive. The president says his government is ready to negotiate with the leadership of the sect if that will ensure a safe release of the girls. While some people are praying for the safe return of the Chibok girls, some Nigerians are still skeptical about the reality of their abduction.
I'll be happy if they come back alive because I am a parent and I know what it is to lose a child. Do you understand? Government should try as much as they can to bring them back all alive.
I am hopeful that these people should be returned safely.
Regardless of the side of the divide the opinions fall, majority of Nigerians are hoping for their safe rescue, rehabilitation, and reunion of the Chibok girls with their families.
A very good one there, Yinka, and we as Nigerians hope that the girls are rescued alive. And Borno State government is seeking local support for the upkeep of internally displaced persons in 26 camps spread across the state. Governor Kashim Shettima says that over 162 bags of rice are prepared every day in just one of the camps. is worried that the 600 million naira a month expenditure is having an adverse effect on government coffers and his quest for additional financial support. Bayo Sami was at a fundraising event for the displaced persons in northeast Nigeria, where the governor made this appeal.
It is the first time a private organization is taking the initiative to raise funds for people displaced by insurgent activities in the Northeast. Daily Trust is largely seen as a newspaper with a bias for northern Nigeria. And there is nothing that best captures the situation in that part of the country than the hundreds of thousands affected directly or indirectly by the lingering insurgency. In taking the lead to raise funds for internally displaced persons, the organizers gave room for those who have visited IDP camps to share their experiences.
The enormity of the problem and its complexity, the complexity of the solution, has given rise to the idea of a joint intervention by all these groups that you have seen there. So the internally displaced persons must return to a normal life, and they need assistance from all of us. And it's very important we look at the education of the children. The education of these children is so important because it would prevent them from becoming minds to be molded in an idea like Boko Haram. This is the worst thing that has happened, but it would be far worse if we do nothing, and in 20 to 30 years' time, these kids that don't know anyone or anything or any compassion would rise to become even worse than the Boko Haram we know today.
All our schools in Maiduguri are closed. All the beautiful houses that he built have been turned into camps for IDPs. He does not think anything again. His budget, he has thrown it away. His present budget is IDP, IDP, IDP.
With deep emotion, Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima expressed concern over the plight of IDPs, many of whom, he says, are vulnerable children. Shettima revealed that his administration is spending over 600 million naira monthly to cater for the welfare of the IDPs. And he fears that the state government may soon run out of funds.
The problem in Chibok, the abduction of our girls, brought to the poor the efforts of an Igbo lady, of the Christian faith, who is struggling to see that those girls are recovered safely and alive. That bears testimony to the fact that as terrible as the crisis is or was, there are still glimmer of hope that things will turn out to be better in this country. For me, I am an eternal optimist who believe that by the grace of God, this madness will be over soon.
The National Assembly was not left out as federal lawmakers pledged their support with legislative instruments that will enhance the welfare of IDPs in their various camps.
One of the issues captured by the resolutions unanimously passed by the House is for the Federal Executive Council, when constituted, to ratify the Kampala Convention that talks about a structured catering for IDPs for subsequent passage into law by the National Assembly. So these are some of the issues that were raised on the floor of the House, which the House unanimously passed with a view to ameliorating the problems of the Northeast.
The United Nations estimates that Nigeria now has the highest number of displaced persons in the world, with about 1.5 million people having to flee insurgent activities in the Northeast. Bayo Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
People engaged under the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program (SHOPI) in Kaduna have staged a peaceful protest over the non-payment of the 7-month salary arrears. Many of the people who showed up for the protest claimed they had been used and dumped by the government agency. Amina Anebi has more in this report, presented from our studio.
We are here to demonstrate, peaceful demonstrate, to agitate for our allowances, 7-month allowances that is not being paid. The state coordinator Ramunkura collide with the NDE staffs to deny us the access of the money. And they pay our local government coordinators, they pay their 5-month allowances, but they leave us behind. We are the people who are going direct to the garbage. We are the workers. We are going direct to the garbage, cleaning gutters and drainages in the wards level. But yet we didn't see anything. Our beneficiaries from the ward are accusing us that we collided with our officers and go away with their money.
We want government to come inside and rescue us. We have family, we have children, we are paying for rent.
Ana zanga-zanga akan hakkinmu ne da ba a bamu ba wata 7 ba a biya mu kuɗinmu ba na shofi. Kuma ba alhali muna aiki ruwa da iska sanyi baya hana mu fita. Kullum muna fita muna yin shara a titi. A kuka da jihar Kaduna da Najeriya gabaki ɗaya har Janar Buhari ya taimaka mana ya duba mana. Kullum kuma muna fita muna aiki komin ruwa ana ruwa haka sai mun fita. Ba rigar ruwa ba komai kayan aiki ma da kuɗin mu muke sawa muna siyan kayan aiki. Tsintsiya muna siya muna shara shekara 2 muna aiki kuma ba a biya mu ba.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has apprehended an Ariga staff, Ikichuku Oliver, over his alleged role in the 20 kilogram of cocaine seizure made by the United Kingdom border force at Ito Airport. According to the agency's head of public affairs, Ofoyeju Michel, 35-year-old Ikichuku Oliver, who works as a catering builder, was found to have subverted airport security by concealing cocaine in catering supplies. Preliminary investigation revealed that both Oliver and Chika had been infiltrated by a suspected drug cartel. Ofoyeju disclosed that Oliver confessed to have been invited into illicit drug deal by his colleague Chika Ndosi, a senior member of the Ariga cabin crew that was arrested in London in flight W3101. Oliver also stated that he was expecting 1.2 million naira for the 3 bags he last smuggled before he was caught. In a bid to avert a reoccurrence of such incident, NDLEA Chairman Amadou Gade has directed that all airport workers must be extensively screened before getting on board. NDLEA must stress that all catering trucks, luggage trucks, aviation fuel tankers, machines and personnel whose duty directly or indirectly relates to the tarmac and flight operations should be subjected to full screening. NDLEA say investigation is still ongoing to unravel the rest of the 20 kg cocaine saga found in Chika Ndosi at the London Heathrow Airport, valued at over 100 million naira. Members of the Association of Retired Police Officers of Nigeria have staged a peaceful protest to Government House in Ilorin, asking the federal government to direct the anti-graft agencies to investigate the National Pension Commission. Rashid has more from Ilorin.
The pensioners who stormed the seat of power in Ilorin alleged that the Pension Commission assured them of paying 50% of their monthly salary after retirement, but faltered by paying only 25% since retirement. They accused the National Health Insurance Scheme of not fulfilling its promise of providing free health services to members of their families.
All of us who have served the country meritoriously for 35 good years with honesty and loyalty to the federal government and the citizens of Nigeria. But having retired, the money contributed, we contributed from our salary. They are now paying us 25,000, 20,000, 25,000, and per month. And before our retirement, our last pay, like me, I was being paid 100,000. So I was expecting when they said 50% of our, or 80%, of our salary will be paid to us when we retire. But to our surprise, like majority of us, they are paying us 25%, 25,000, 20,000 per month. That is one. Secondly, National Health Insurance Scheme.
The protesting body, however, called on the anti-graft agency to commence a probe on the National Pension Commission for breaching of agreement.
Our RSA balance is not paid. So that was why we've been written series of letters. We know they will not allow that letter to get to its destination. That was why we decided to come out to show the government and Nigerians that we are suffering, we are dying. We're about 1,000. We retire every month, first of every month. And so shall be till the end of the world. That is how we want the federal government, we want the president to pull us out, to empower EFCC to investigate the activities of PENCOM.
Having listened to the side of Naala, efforts to get the reaction of management of National Pension Commission proved abortive as they declined interview directing the crew to the national headquarters in Abuja. At the Office of the National Health Insurance Scheme, the officer who spoke off camera said the agency is yet to commence program for retired police officers, adding that no agreement was signed with the retired police officers in that regard. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
We take another break and we'll be back with business, sports and news from outside Nigeria. Stay tuned.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it is time to forgive me.
Political Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
President Muhammad Buhari says that Nigeria, under his administration, will work more closely with other countries facing the challenge of falling oil prices to rapidly move away from dependence on crude oil export for economic survival. Speaking at an audience with the new ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Nigeria, Fahad Abdullahi Safian, President Buhari affirmed his administration's commitment to faster develop Nigeria's non-oil sectors and speedy diversification of the country's economy. President Buhari said that in keeping with his commitment to the accelerated development of Nigeria's non-oil sector, the federal government will ensure that all pending agreements on trade and economic relations with other countries are speedily concluded and signed. The president restated his conviction that the war against terrorism in Nigeria and other countries can only be won with greater and more effective international collaboration. The World Bank on Wednesday, in a statement issued in Abuja, said about $200 million had been disbursed under the first phase of the project, thus bringing the total amount provided under the program to 66.98 billion naira. The disbursement of the 27.58 billion naira under its assisted community and social development project to 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory. It said states that would benefit from the additional financing would focus on the most vulnerable households in poor communities in the country. Anambra, Kaduna and Sokoto states targeted are also set to participate in the additional financing. Others are rural electrification, rural transport, community water schemes, community housing schemes and rural market infrastructure. Dangote Cement PLC, Africa's biggest producer, will add 25 million metric tons of capacity across 11 countries on the back of contract agreement with Chinese construction company Sinoma International Engineering. The company has also expanded its frontiers to Asia by constructing a 3 million metric tons per annum cement plant in Nepal. Its total project cost is expected to be about $4.34 billion, and it will see Dangote Cement owned by Africa's richest man Aliko Dangote double output of the product to 80 million tons across the continent, with half of that coming from Nigeria. The company, which opened a 1.5 million tons per annum cement plant in Douala, Cameroon Thursday, seeks to meet demand by African governments seeking to build infrastructure, including new ports, roads and dams. And to outside Nigeria, at least 20 migrants have been found dead in a lorry abandoned in a motorway laid-by near the eastern border with Hungary. The Austrian authorities said it happened near the eastern border with Hungary. The number of dead could be as high as 50, police said. The grim find comes as a summit focusing on migration takes place in the Austrian capital, Vienna. Tens of thousands of migrants from conflicted states in the Middle East and Africa have been trying to make their way to Europe. Burgenland Police Chief Hans-Peter Duskozil said motorway police had been alerted to the vehicle, a refrigerated lorry with Hungarian license plates, which was packed off the A4 motorway between Pandaf and New Zealand. Duskozil said the vehicle was found on Thursday morning, but had been there since since Wednesday. A spokesman for the Hungarian Prime Minister said Hungarian police are working with Austrian police on the investigation. South Sudan President Salva Kiir has signed the peace deal with rebels more than a week after refusing to do so at a ceremony in the capital, Juba, attended by African regional leaders. The presidents of Kenya and Uganda and the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who all helped mediate the negotiations, were at signing event on Wednesday. Rebel leader Riek Machar signed the accord in the Ethiopian capital last week, but Kiir had said on the same day that his government needed more time to study the text. The UN Security Council had said that it was ready to take immediate action if Kiir did not sign the agreement on Wednesday. The killer of WDBJ TV journalist Bruce Williams has killed himself after he shot two journalists, Alison Parker and Adam Watt, on live TV. He was reported to have sent a message which reads, "I have been human powder for a while, just waiting to go boom," to the ABC News Network just after he carried out the act before he turned a gun on himself and then a manhunt for the killer. Authorities say though the shooter, a former reporter of the Renac station, is dead, but investigation into Wednesday's attack is far from over. Franklin County Sheriff Bill Overton said authorities weren't sure about the gunman's motive, but are looking at his past employment at WDBJ as well as all the evidence, including the facts he allegedly sent to ABC News in New York. In the message, according to ABC, the gunman said that Charleston, South Carolina church shooting in June is what put him over the edge, but he wrote that his anger has been building steadily because of racial discrimination and sexual harassment he claims to have endured. And to sports. The Champions League draw for the 2015-2016 competition is out as Arsenal will face Bayern Munich in the Champions League for the third time in 4 seasons after being drawn against the German club in the group stage. Manchester United will play PSV Eindhoven in their return to competition, with striker Memphis Depay to face his old club as Chelsea will play Porto, with whom Jose Mourinho won the competition in 2004. Manchester City face Serie A's Juventus, Europa League winners Sevilla and Borussia Mönchengladbach, as each team will play 6 features in the group stage. With the first match days taking place on 15 and 16 September, all 4 English clubs avoided joining either defending champions Barcelona or Real Madrid, who have won the European Cup 10 times. Lionel Messi added another individual trophy to his collection today as he was voted UEFA's best player in Europe for last season as the Barcelona star beat Luis Suarez, his teammate, the Champions League winner, and Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo in a European wild poll of journalists. Messi, the four-time FIFA World Player of the Year, got the UEFA honor after a season-long duel with Ronaldo for the Champions League scoring record as both resumed this season on 77 goals. Messi scored 58 goals and provided 31 assists as Barcelona won La Liga, the Copa del Rey and Champions League, as Suarez, who scored the decisive second goal in a 3-1 final win over Juventus, reached the shortlist despite starting a season in late October, and Bulgaria forward served a FIFA ban for beating at the 2014 World Cup. Messi is the first two-time winner after winning the inaugural award in 2010 to 2011. Ronaldo won it last season. Usain Bolt thought he had blown away all comers at the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing when it ramped him to win the 200-meter gold at the ongoing World Athletics Championships, but a Chinese photographer succeeded where Justin Gatlin in all this field as he was able to topple the 10-time world champion. Bolt was knocked over by the cameraman in a segue as he celebrated his latest gold on a flap of honor. The 29-year-old sprinter was weathered back on his feet in a twinkle. This came after Bolt produced a sublime performance to see off Justin Gatlin and complete a sprint double. Usain Bolt, a six-time Olympic champion, dominated the field as he finished in a season-best time of 19.55 seconds, punching his chest with his fists as he eased across the line. And it's a wrap on CoreTV Primetime News, but here is a quick reminder of our major stories. President Muhammad Buhari has approved the appointment of Bashir David Lal as Secretary to the Government of Federation. He also named Abba Yukari as Chief of Staff to the President. The leader of the Bring Back Our Girls group, Obi Ezekwesili, is confident that the Buhari administration would facilitate the rescue of over 200 girls. Senate leader Ali Udume admits there were procedural errors in the investigative hearing into the petition filed against the EFCC chairman Ibrahim Lamade. On behalf of the entire news crew, thank you so very much for watching. My name is Omotayo Alo. Have a good night rest.